Hello students, this video is for group number 3, factoring using the difference of squares. Difference of squares is simply when you have two perfect squares and they're being subtracted. The problem has to have a minus sign or else it won't work. And these two things have to be squared. Please copy this down. I know it may not make a lot of sense right now, but it will once we do a few problems. A little note I want you to write yourself on the bottom of this is to think about taking the square root. So you're going to think about square rooting this, and you're going to think about square rooting this. When you get the square root, you will get your answers. Let me just show you, because I'm sure it sounds very confusing right now, but you'll see it's not that bad. Let's go to the next one. Number 1, factor the following. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to check. Is there a minus sign? Yes. Is this first piece squared? Yes, it is. Is this second piece squared? Well, 4 is a perfect square because 2 times 2 is 4. So this works. So think about square rooting this. If you were to square root this, what would come out of x squared? Just an x would come out. So my answer is going to have an x in it. And then think about square rooting the second piece, 4. What's the square root of 4? Well, we talked about this already. 2 times 2 is 4. So a 2 is going to come out. So your first answer is going to be x minus 2. And then your second answer, because you're always going to have two pieces, it's going to be the same exact thing, except it's going to be x plus 2. You're always going to have a minus piece, and you're always going to have a plus piece. And it doesn't matter which one you put first or which one you put second. You could have written x plus 2 and then x minus 2 in the back. It doesn't matter. This is your answer. If you wanted to prove it to yourself that this is the answer, you could multiply this back together to get the original. I promise you that if you were to multiply these pieces, x minus 2 and x plus 2, if you were to multiply them back together, you would get x squared minus 4. A different group will show you about how to check your answer, so we're not going to worry about it in this video. Let's move on to problem number 2 to get you to have more practice and for you to understand this better. All right, so this is another problem that's a difference of squares. Difference means minus. And both of these are perfect squares. The x is squared and 25 is a perfect square. So again, think about square rooting it. If you square root x squared, an x will come out. And then think about what number squared gives you 25. So the square root of 25, what times what gives you 25? The answer is 5. So I'm going to put x minus 5. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing again, but this time I'm going to put a plus sign. So I'm going to write x plus 5. And these two parentheses are your answers, x minus 5 and x plus 5. These are the factors. These two things are x squared minus 25. It's just separated into two pieces. I could multiply these two pieces back together again, and I would get x squared minus 25. Okay, let's move on to problem number 3. This one is a little tougher. We have more stuff to look at, okay? Look at 99, m squared. Okay, here, this is a perfect square, but is 99 a perfect square? Think about it. What number times itself can give you 99? Nothing, right? 9 times 9 is 81. 10 times 10 is 100. But nothing is going to give me 99. So this is not doable. Okay, the 99 messed it up. Everything else is fine, right? 64 would have been fine. 8 times 8 is 64. But nothing else will give me 99. So this is not doable. Whenever you have a number that you cannot break down, you call that number prime. This is a polynomial that you cannot break down. You can't factor it. So we're just going to write the word prime. That means you can't do it. That's going to happen to you a few times on this worksheet. So keep an eye out for that. Number 4 is the same situation. You cannot do number 4 because of the plus sign. This has to be a minus sign, okay? The answer has to, the question has to have a minus sign. Because it has a plus sign, this is not doable. It is also prime. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, I ran out of problems. I guess that's it for this video. I'm not sure if you need any more examples, but this is pretty much it. Please try the rest of the problems on your worksheet, and if you have questions, ask your teacher. When you're done, check your answers with your teacher to make sure you did it right. Thank you.